Hey, 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 my people, we are here. Another episode. We got a special guest. But let me start here.
Mhm.
You've been settling, and deep down, you know it.
Ooh.
In relationships, in your career,
Mhm.
in how you see yourself. Well, we got something for you today because this conversation with Areva Denise Neely is
Yes.
your wake up call. So make sure you stay tapped in because you know what? You're worth more, period. So let's get it popping. Hey, you are now tapped into the fire session. Y'all already know what it is. No filters, no scripts, just the truth. So, y'all already know how we start off the show. Before we get too deep into the fire, before we jump in that thing, we got to check and make sure everybody's good. So, as y'all see, we got a different face on the screen. We got a special guest. We have Areva Denise Neely with us today. She has a lot going on. We're going to get all in her business. We're going to ask all these questions. And then by the end of the show, you're going to know her and you're going to be able to follow her on social media and be a part of her journey as well. So, welcome to the fire session. And we're going to start off by asking you, how are you feeling today? Mentally, physically, emotionally, you good?
We talking to me, right? I'm feeling amazing.
Mm
I feel great. I'm so grateful that you guys even let me on your amazing podcast. You guys are doing amazing things and it's been amazing guest on here. So I'm just honored to be a part. Thank you guys.
Oh, no problem at all.
Yeah.
It's our pleasure. Benji has spoken highly of you. So
Oh,
when we
Mm.
were going through and he was like, "Hey, we need to have this young lady on," and we looked at your content, we were like, "Of course, let's make it happen." And you're here, so we're excited to have this conversation with you. So welcome to the fire session. It might get a little hot in here, but that's why it's called a fire session. You know what I'm saying? So
bring the
Uh,
heat. Let's do it.
all
Hey,
all right,
you
y'all
ain't
heard her.
scared?
Y'all heard her. Y'all heard her.
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently.
All right, Trish Michelle, you good, homie?
Oh yeah, I'm doing good. I mean, I made it through the 1 year old birthday party. You know how that goes. My
Woo.
house was the hosting house, so the people, the parents, they did well. My house was back to normal by the next day. It was
Yeah.
clean. They fed me the next day. It was great. And then, the party turns into a party for the adults after a certain time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody else have fun. And it was heat. It was hot. We were in the pool. It was just a great weekend. And so now we got a great week going. Had a little mental health day with my daughter just because. And we went out and hung out and had lunch. So, just a little great day today.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. And it was funny because when you host parties at your house that are not necessarily for you, it's always one of those things where it's like, come on, y'all. I hope y'all act right because we're doing a favor for someone, but sometimes you don't know they guest. They guest might not be
Yeah.
your guest, right?
Right.
So they're inviting people to your humble abode and you're like, yeah. So y'all gonna come here and act like y'all got some sense because if not, you gonna have to call Big Ken to fly out there
Man,
and regulate the place.
you seen the note I put. If you was not invited, y'all, you better not show up here. So I told Ken like I should have had you at the door because I ain't having none of it, but none of it occurred. So I was like, wow, you guys did very well.
That's okay because they know Trisha Michelle do not play, so they know not to come there
Yeah.
acting up. All right. So it's good to hear that both of y'all are doing well. I'm doing amazing. It's another amazing week in my world. When you're my height, everything is, what I'm saying, everything is amazing most of the time. You know what I'm saying? So y'all would know that because y'all short. So you know what I'm saying? Shout out to y'all though.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
I got called
No,
tall today, so calm down. Okay.
I'm 9'5'10" with the heels, you know.
Right. She's
let me take this back. Okay, they actually are tall. Okay,
you got
okay. So
Benji looking up like this.
see, for the first time, I can't do that because these ladies are actually tall. Okay, all right. I'll leave that alone. All right, all right. All right, so it is March. It is Women's History Month. So we definitely want to celebrate and honor the contributions of women in our society. So shout out to you two ladies and the dopeness and the greatness that you all bring to the world because we could not function without you. So we appreciate you.
Yes. Thank
Thank
you.
Y'all
you.
can clap for y'allself.
I
Y'all
know.
ain't gotta
I
clap
was
for
like,
yourself.
Thank you.
thank you. Oh, we was a little bashful or something. We was taking it in.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
received that.
All right. So yeah, nah, definitely want to appreciate y'all, because I think that sometimes you all have so much greatness going on and you all take care of so much things that people forget to just say thank you, to just
Yeah,
appreciate who you are.
that
So
is true.
we appreciate that, you know what I'm saying? So
Well,
Thank you.
thank you, Kim.
all right. So let's hop right in here and get acquainted with our special guest. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you from? What set you claim? All that good stuff.
Gang. So, my name is Areva, and I am from Moreno Valley, California, the IE, the murder, they say.
Murder
But,
Valley. He
but,
is.
uh,
Yeah.
but I'm closer now to Temecula area. I am in my doctorate program now for organizational change and administration. I have 2 master's degrees in school counseling and educational leadership, and I'm a school counselor. I actually just got this new position, so I'm so happy.
Hey, congrats. Look at
Um,
that. Ooh.
yes, so happy. I'm an author of 9 books, and yeah, I bang Jesus all day, y'all. JC.
Dang. You got this and that and that, and it is girl, go on with your bad self.
So
All
that's
right.
me.
All right. Well, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Right.
You said 9 books. I'm like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, no, yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of books.
Wow. Yeah, 9 is a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
definitely.
do have a
Yeah.
nonprofit with my cousin called Train Station Foundation. Train up a child in the way they should go, and they'll never depart from it. So it's a homeschool program that we do on the side. And then I have my own LLC called You're Worth More Pathways. Because I believe all kids are worth more than just one pathway to success. University is not just the end all be all. There's trade school, military, and all that good stuff. So,
Oh, wow. Oh, we got a lot to uncover here. I hope y'all
Yeah.
put your seatbelts on because woo.
Yeah, that's a lot. And I'm impressed. I can't lie. Like
Man.
I'm thoroughly impressed. Like
I'm
I
like, let
like
me
I
get
said,
up and do something today.
no,
I mean seriously,
no.
right? All right. So I'm gonna start here. A lot of people throw around words like value, worth, self-respect, but
Mhm.
do they really live it? Is the question, right?
Yeah.
And I've had a chance to look at some of your content and listen to your content. And I feel like you have to earn that mindset that you have. Like you had to go through some things to get to the point of where you are now. So where you can be encouraging to others, right?
Yes.
So before we even get into anything deep, how did you become that version of yourself where you are now, where you're helping people and helping, the kids and things like that? How did you become that version of yourself?
It was a lot of growth. It stems from my book, You're Worth More. I went through something with a particular guy I actually grew up in the church with, and just broke me down. Like my self-esteem, everything was just, I went through depression and all of that. And during that time when I was going through what I was going through with him, I would hear God whisper in my ear, "You're worth more." But I had no idea You're Worth More was going to be any of the stuff I'm doing right now. So what the enemy thought was going to break me, like he should have left me alone, because I'm here to tell young women and just young men too, like how valuable they are. You're worth more than what you think.
She said he should have left me alone. You look what you just started.
Yeah. So
Should have
okay,
left me alone.
so let me ask you this because people hear the success part and people see the success. People always see the end product, but they
Yeah.
skip the cost piece. Like,
Yeah.
so when you talk about the cost piece, you said it cost you, like the relationship that you had with the young man caused you to go through these trials and tribulations. Can you talk about the cost that it took you to get here?
Oh my gosh. It cost me my self-respect. I didn't have no respect for myself. I thought I did until you get in a situation. And are we allowed to be like frank on here?
Yes.
Real?
Yes.
Okay. So this particular guy, I was performing oral sex for him. So Your
Okay.
Worth More is about that. I was getting nothing in return. I was like, I want to wait to have sex until I get married. And he was like, oh, just do this because it's not actually sex, Reva. The more you do this, the more it's going to make me grow feelings for you. And it's just a shock that I even like believe this now, that how much older I've gotten and I've grown. But that does something to you mentally. And then when you're growing up in the church, you're condemning yourself, and you have to learn the difference between condemnation and conviction. Those are two different things. Condemnation to have you just beating yourself up, thinking you can't talk to God, you can't go to God because you made yourself your God. So you're really beating yourself up, and then you made this person an idol. Like, I know in my poem that I released on YouTube some years ago, I said, and this is before Chat GPT, guys. So I said,
See if I wrote this.
I said, he took the pain away temporarily as if he was morphine, but the pain kept returning back again, insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. So this went on for years. So that like broke me because I thought that was all I was worth. And then most people didn't even know I was going through this because, youth leader, I gotta look a certain way, gotta act a certain way, but I'm like dying in the inside because the most you hear in church is like, just don't have sex, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. But you're not explaining why. You're not explaining the soul ties. You're not explaining how something like this could like not only hurt you spiritually, but naturally too.
Wow. That's powerful. Trish Michelle, did you?
No, yeah, it's insanely powerful. Like, and I'm sure a lot of women can relate. And I mean, let alone a lot of individuals that let go of themselves. And when she said you because you were God and you were idol, like you made them an idol, like you know how especially like the younger version of me might have done something like that. Like, and you just I'm just listening, like, wow, okay. Like she's talking that talk right now. Oh,
It's hard. And it used to be hard to talk about. Like, I didn't
yeah.
even want to release the book. I was like, wait a minute.
Right. Especially
Wait.
when you feel like well, it's power in growing from it. But when you went through something and it's a little embarrassing, so you got to
Yeah.
get through that, like the embarrassment and all of that, to just be able to be like, you know what, this was me. This isn't me. I learned, but let me help somebody. Hopefully, not go through this or recognize that they're in it to get out of it because there's so many in it.
Yes, for sure.
That's
And
dope.
that's why the book is set up. I wrote it like a TV series. So chapter 1 is season 1. And then I have commercial breaks in there for the young girls because I wrote it for teenage girls specifically, but older women are saying it's helping them. So it was just commercial breaks. Like I did this, but like you don't have to go through that. Like, so yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, that's dope that you would share that because I think I often say with social media and adults in general, especially when we deal with our children or youth, we show them the highlights, none of the lowlights,
Yeah.
right? I call social media huddle for adults. If people know what huddle is, it's a highlight platform for high school football and basketball players where they put all their highlights on
Oh,
for
yeah,
coaches to
yeah,
go check out, right? And that's what
Everything
social
gonna
media
look
is.
good.
Yeah, that's what social media is for adults. They're just gonna
Yeah.
put the highlights on there. You never see any of those young men put a fumble on their highlights. And guess what? in life we fumble.
Yeah.
We make mistakes. We have low lights. We have things that we're not so proud of. But when we share those things, they could be so powerful because they could help someone else not go down that same path.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, a lot of people are still hiding in plain sight because, you see them every day and you see the joy on their faces, you see them living life, and you see all this great stuff. But deep down inside, they're hurting and they can't get rid of the hurt because they refuse to let it go. Part of letting it go is, for a lot of people, is actually talking about it. That's a form of releasing it. So it's great that you were able to do that and then put it in a book so people could read it and it's documented.
Yeah. It's documented. I was like, wait, Jesus. Wait
Yeah.
a minute. But it's helped a lot of young girls. Like, I even met a young girl who was like cutting herself because I used to do little speaking engagements. And when I heard a young girl, she was just in middle school, it was sixth grade, and it caught me off guard.
Wow.
She raised her hand and she goes, well, what if you're like teabagging a guy and he's spreading it around school and it's true? Like, I literally like stopped in my, I had no words. And my cousin,
Yeah.
she was there taking pictures, so she had to like repeat what the girl said so I could like come back because it broke my heart. Like, you're like 11, you're
Yeah.
like 12. And if I couldn't mentally, um, the capacity to go through that as a
Mhm.
college adult at 22, I can only imagine what you felt at 11 or 12. So
Yeah, for an 11 or 12-year-old to even know what teabagging is crazy.
my
You
mouth
know,
dropped.
this school now, the way that they talk, the way that they do what they do, and unfortunately, I'm not surprised.
Yeah,
It's getting younger and younger, and they are knowing more and more.
right.
Yeah, I think it's their access to social
Mhm.
media and the internet, and I'm gonna date myself here, but I laugh with my daughter who's 14, and I tell her, your dad was your age when the internet started.
Oh,
so so
Yeah.
it's a lot of pressures that we didn't come up against, what I'm saying, when we were that age, because
yeah,
we just weren't overloaded with so much information,
right.
right,
Right.
that we had at our fingertips. Right, if we wanted to know something, we had to either go to the library, ask somebody. We got to go to the library and use that card catalog to look up a book, and you had to look up an encyclopedia. So it was a lot we had to go through to get information, right?
Yeah,
Where now these kids can just go straight to their phones, straight to a computer, and a couple of clicks and to Google or Chat GPT, and they can find out a wealth of information and a bunch of stuff that they should know
right. In seconds.
Yeah.
in seconds. All right. So when you were going through all these things, can
Hmm.
you talk to me about the specific point in which you said, you know what, nah, this ain't it for me. I got to do something different.
Honestly, I want to say my family. I'm so grateful for the family I'm placed in. I really am. And I have a lot of younger cousins and nieces and nephews, and it made me like think. One day some of them came in my room, and I was just like down, and they didn't like what is happening to Auntie Areva right now. What is going on? And that made me go, enough is enough. I can't do this no more.
Yeah.
And I don't want them to ever have to experience what I did either. So that kind of pushed me. And then when the guy told me I have to respect him and that not everyone was gonna want me.
Mm,
Um, so that did something to me that I was like, okay, this is not healthy, and this is not what God has for me. And so that's where that stopped for sure.
okay. Okay. Well, it's I'm glad that you listened to God in that moment,
Yeah.
because sadly, throughout my life, I'm sure God was telling me something, but because you don't doubt God, but you doubt that it's that clear. It's like, man, this can't be God telling me this clear. This gotta I gotta be tripping. I gotta be something's gotta be going on. So I don't really know. I'm doubting that, I'm not gonna even lie to you. Let's be transparent here. It's some of the stuff that I didn't want to walk away from that I knew I needed to walk away from. So I'm trying to figure out a way to stay in it a little bit longer to receive a little bit more confirmation. But I'm
Right.
glad that you listened and were able to move away from that situation because that's those
He stabbed me a couple of times though. I'm be honest. But I got through it though, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, well, hey, you know what? Sometimes it takes multiple times to hear God's voice before you move, and sometimes it just takes that one because it's so loud and clear. I've had instances in life where I felt like God was telling me something, and I had one instance in my life that I can recall in my teenage years where it seemed like God was so clear that He was standing right next to me. I heard the voice in my ear, and I got out of there. And just so happened that instant saved my life that night. So listening to God is key. And it's hard to do at times because we're in situations where we don't necessarily feel like we want to leave, but God's got a reason and we just got to understand it. And as the old folks say, you'll understand it by and by.
Right, by and by. I haven't heard that in a while.
Yeah, that's why I said the older crowd. You know what I'm saying? That's why I heard it.
Yes.
Benji says it a lot.
Well, Benji is old soul. Shout out to Benji Banks, the man in the brain. He's an old soul.
And
he's a little old man.
Yes.
Y'all are comedy.
All right, so I really hope people caught that conversation that we just had about that, because if you all out there are hearing God speak in your life or being warned by things, start paying attention to more, because a lot of times, like they say all the time, there are warnings before things happen, right?
Yeah.
Before things get too deep. And we got to start paying more attention to that, because a lot of times the stuff that we experience in life before it gets too deep, we can avoid it, but we don't, because we're not paying attention, because we got all this other stuff going on, all this other white noise around us that's just bombarding us and taking us off track, that we don't see or we don't hear what God's trying to show us.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I agree, for sure.
All right, so when you say people deserve more, people worth more, and it's funny that you said that you didn't realize how prevalent that would be in your life at the time when you first were in the infancy stages of hearing that and dealing with that.
Right.
So what has that growth looked like for you, just in that concept of you're worth more and you helping other people understand it as well? What does that look like in your life?
Well, now, like I said, like I wrote You're Worth More back in like 2017. So 2017, 2018. I had no idea that it was going to be me like going to speak to young girls. I didn't know I was going to create You're Worth More pathways. And now this podcast, You're Worth More, is out. So what that looks like to me is like I have to genuinely know my worth and not just say it, because a lot of people, they talk these good words. You put little quotes on your social media, but do you really believe it? Even like a lot of Christian women say, I'm Proverbs 31, but it's like, do you really know what that is? Because I was speaking, I was that. But when that person came in, I wasn't thinking that anymore. So I was like, this man is fine, Lord, is what I was thinking. And I want him. So, but Proverbs 31 woman, she was a boss. Like she really was. And she took care of her home, and she even had a job, y'all. Some people be like, no, Proverbs 31 woman didn't have a job. Yes, she did. She had her own business. Okay. She was an entrepreneur. So when I look at it in that way, like you're worth more, not just in relationships, but your leadership skills, the way you treat people, you're worth more. You don't talk to everybody just crazy. You're worth more than talking to them like they're nothing. And especially in leadership, my sister always says people don't leave the job, they leave leadership. And I think that deals with people not genuinely knowing their worth in leadership, because sometimes they can be intimidated by other people, instead of bringing those people in. So I definitely try to teach young people that too as well, that no matter if you're the janitor or the CEO, we all need to treat each other with respect, period. Because you need the janitor.
Yep.
You want it clean. So
And are you gonna do it? And if you're not, then I guess you better
right.
better be thankful for this person that's doing what you won't do.
Period. And don't sleep on janitors. I know a lot of them retire well.
Yeah.
They retire well. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay.
I know that was a lot.
No. Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. And I was gonna mention too, and I bring up the story sometime. I actually work for a company, and I actually met the CEO numerous times, and we had a conversation one day, and he told me that he started out at the company like 30 something years prior to that, and he was the janitor.
Wow.
So he actually went from being the janitor at an Air Force base to being the CEO of the company, literally. So it can happen, and you got to watch how you treat people, and you got to have some self-worth, because he said that throughout that time he knew that he would, grow and be something big in the company, but he didn't know what. So he just kept, motivating himself. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
and it worked out for him.
That's what's up. He done heard it all, seen it all too, and probably was like,
right. When those people start coming, hey, how are you doing? I'm great.
Real good.
Doing wonderful. But yeah, it's so true.
All right. So my next question is, why do you think people stay in situations where they're clearly undervalued?
Oof. I would say because they don't, I know I keep saying it, but it goes back to knowing your worth. You don't truly know it. You don't. And some people think like, well, this is as good as it's gonna get. Like even the dating scene right now it's hard. Like it's very hard. And don't tell a man you you don't want to have sex. Like, he's gonna be like, well, you had sex before, and it's like, wait a minute. So now I can't have a standard now. Well, I know my standard now, and I don't want it. And I don't want to be hurt. I don't want a soul tie. I don't want to have to like pray all and purge that all out again. Like, no, if I don't have to. So don't tell me that I'm not allowed to have a standard now, because that's basically what you're saying. Or then I don't have to pay for you to eat. Then they'll say something like that. And I'm like, now it sounds like a transaction. Right? Now it makes me sound like a prostitute.
Right. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think people think this is as good as it's gonna get, or they've never seen better. It's a blessing, like for me, that I have so many great like relationships and marriages around me. Even my little cousins, are married, and to see like how their husbands and stuff treat them. And even though they all go, look, ain't no marriage is perfect, okay? Like they'll tell you real fast, this takes work. Marriage is beautiful work. They get on my nerves sometimes. Sometimes you look to the side and it's like, man, I don't like this person today. But you choose to love them. So I think it's not like some people don't see that, they don't have access to that sometimes too. No one's really told them how valuable they are. And I've had to do that with certain young teenage girls that I spoke to. The one who was cutting herself, she was 16, talking to the 27-year-old who was beating on her too. And she didn't even want to come to the event. That was the funny part. Well, not funny, but like ironically. And she was sitting when I was speaking, her arms were folded. She was pissed, like did not want to be there. And so we start sitting down and we're eating. This girl comes to me, she sits next to me, and I go, hey, and then boom, just starts crying. Just cries. And her dad wasn't in her life. She doesn't really have people. Her grandma is the one that's there for her. And she just spilled everything. And now that girl is blossoming. Beautiful young lady.
Yes. So
Yeah.
God put you in rooms and places for a reason,
Yeah,
and it
for
hit
sure.
her in that moment. That's so
Yeah.
as much as she didn't want to be there, as much as she was fighting like you said earlier, the signals from God fighting on you.
Yes. She
She
reported that man and everything. So,
yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
yeah. She did not want to be there though.
Yeah.
I feel you, girl. It was like, Grandma, why am I here?
Right. Especially at 16. Like at 16, yeah, I know how they could be.
Yeah, it's the irony of it. A lot of places that we don't want to be, we end up meeting people and having conversations that, are life changing. And I've had
Yeah.
those as well, where I went to an event and, because my mom said these guys were great mentors and stuff like this. And I'm like, man, I got a daddy at home. I don't need to talk to these
Yeah.
guys. And, you
Right.
know, I'm just like my dad. My pops is the end all be all. He tells me whatever he tells me is that's what it is. But as a young man, I'm glad I went to those events and read books and kind of ventured outside of my comfort zone, because I learned so much about myself as a young man. So that for me, I became a father at 20. So I had to, with my oldest son, we grew up together almost, in a sense,
Oh,
because I was still becoming a man, in that stage. So I at least I had some foundation to start with, what I'm saying, in helping raise him to be who he needed to be. And then my son, my second son. So um when it's very enlightening, put it that way, when God puts you in these situations. You're like, man, why am I even here? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And sometimes you get ready to go and you spent an hour or two at this place. You're like, man, why did I even come here and waste my time? And then it's that one conversation that somebody walks up to you as you're walking out of the place and say, hey, you know what? I want to talk to you about something. Boom.
yeah.
There it is.
Mhm.
Yeah. It matters. It really
Yeah.
does.
And that brings me to something, though, that I'm thinking about as well. Do you think people are taught their worth, or do they have to learn it the hard way? Because it seems like pain is the teacher for most people. Can they be taught their worth?
I think you can be taught, but you have to believe it. Because my dad, I am so spoiled. My parents, man, they've been married for 30, it'll be 35 years in July. So I've seen it. My dad, I'm so spoiled. So for me to even like be in the situation I was in is just, it's diabolical.
Yeah.
It really, really is. And I was taught how great I was, how beautiful I was, how smart I was, and all of this stuff. But I think you hear it, but you're not like really believing it, like,
Yeah.
or my parents are great. I'm not, but they probably could have sat me down on another type of level. Like when I found out about starting my period, my mom sat me down in a way that was like, if you have sex now, you can have a baby, and I'm not gonna help you take care of it. She said,
Oh.
all the guy wants to do is put his thing in you, and it's gonna hurt really bad. You're gonna bleed, and like all types of stuff. Showed me pictures. She printed it out of all these STDs and stuff.
He said, now that we're here, let's get to the nitty-gritty.
Yes, printed it out. You couldn't show on phone, so she printed it out off the computer, AOL dial up,
Uh-huh.
and she showed me all of that. And we talk and we laugh about it now. And it's like if it would have been done a little differently, I probably would have handled that situation differently too. If that makes sense.
No,
That makes a lot of sense too, because you think the word self-worth, and I mean yourself, you gotta believe in your worth. And it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It's like a lot of people now when they want to change their body or they want to change this to that. And people are like, no, you look great. You don't need to go to the gym. And they're like, it's all what they believe about themselves, what they think, if they believe that they need to change this, that, or the next, it ain't gonna matter what the next person says about them. So I mean
Right.
it definitely sounds accurate. It don't matter how much your dad and your mom was pouring into you. It's gotta
Right.
be within yourself.
And that's why God does say renew your mind daily.
Yeah.
You have to. You got to renew your mind and really put those scriptures into like play in your life. Like, man, I am fearfully, beautifully, and wonderfully made. I'm like, dang, you said this about me. Like, this is me. Like, what does that really mean? What does beautifully mean? Let me look that up in the Hebrew. Let me look that up in the Greek. What does that stand for? So, and just really taking that in. That's where that, yeah. So I think you have to learn it for yourself, unfortunately. And I can pour into all these young girls, like pour, and sometimes the result is not what I expected and makes me so sad. But they'll that sometimes they'll come back and be like, oh man, Areva, I should have listened, and some don't come back, and having to be okay with that because that's their journey too.
Their point of awakening timeline might be different.
Right.
Yeah. And I think another thing with this too is I think a lot of people are just afraid to stand on it, right? Like, how you feel, how you view yourself, but you're waiting, especially kids and teenagers, they're waiting for, validation from outside, like their friends to validate them or people to say, yeah, you know what, you're right, you are beautiful. You know what I'm saying? They're waiting for that because mom and daddy saying it, they feel like mom and daddy gotta say that. So sister, brother gotta say that,
Auntie, uncle.
yeah, these people around me, they gotta say that because they my family members. So whatever they saying, they say that because they love me. But what about these people at school? What about these people out in the world? What do they think? And I think the kids don't understand that they put too much weight on, what other people think. And not just the kids, people in general. I think we all do at points. We put too much weight on what we think, other people are saying about us or how they feel about us. But we just got to know that, whatever we think about ourselves, that's what it is. And that's all that matters. And God loves us and we are worth more.
Yeah.
But they steady looking for those likes on social media.
Man, status.
I think we all are, a little bit. You like,
I mean, but for those who are already very fragile in general, like social media is a horrible, horrible place for the fragile mind of a person who already lacks self-worth.
Yes. Oh, girl, say it again. That's it's true.
Yeah, they out here posting these AI pictures as their profile pictures. No, they don't look like
I'm
that.
Like, this does not look like you.
Like, you do not look like this.
But you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be negative because you
but
like,
you can't say it because now you eat down the self-worth too. So it's just like,
maybe that's what you're working. Maybe that's a goal picture. Maybe that's what you're working toward. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, if you want to post the AI pictures, people, post those AI pictures, but be motivated by them. Don't settle for the AI picture being the best version of you. Don't do it.
And I think a lot of people compromise because they're nervous to lose the person.
Yeah.
So you compromise because I have officially lost my virginity 3 years ago. Penetrate, I guess you'll say.
Yeah.
And it was compromised because it was more so like, hey, we're gonna get married anyway, or if you don't do this by now, then I'm gonna have to go. so yeah, I think you're scared to lose because, especially if somebody's in your ear saying you're not gonna find anybody like me, or you're getting older, you're about to you're not gonna be able to have kids, and it's just like, how long are you gonna
manipulation and grooming?
It says yes. It's like conniving, very conniving, serpent tongue, and you got to have discernment, for sure. So, yeah.
Well, that kind of brings me to another subject that I wanted to talk about, and this is a tough question. How do you know when you're being loved versus just being tolerated?
Ooh,
deep.
Well, I think that people think love is a feeling, and I think that's where people get it mixed up at, and it's an actual action. And so when you see somebody saying they respect your boundaries, but they do the total opposite, and you're expressing this and saying it, I think that's when you're being tolerated, because they're waiting to see how they can get you past this. Like, okay, she's saying this, but I'm about to push her to do something different. And not just women, men go through this too.
Yeah.
I don't want to just say women do, but yeah.
Nah, that's understandable because you're speaking from a woman's standpoint. Because
Yeah.
dudes, we go through a lot of the same stuff, and unfortunately, we allow ourselves to be manipulated as well. But sometimes for us, it's a little bit easier to manipulate us because we already want to go that way anyway. You say I'm not worthy. Oh, well, go ahead.
Tell
Take
me
my shirt
how.
off. Just take my shirt off. Just take it off.
Does this make it better?
Oh my God.
All right. Well, somebody definitely needed to hear that. I promise you, because we, like I said, we're laughing and we're having a good time, but these things are serious, and people have to understand that you're not the only one experiencing the stuff that you're going through. I promise you. I promise you, with the billions of people in this world, somebody else is experiencing the same thing. So don't ever feel like you're by yourself, and make sure that the people you're surrounding yourself with on a regular basis are people that you can confide in, and that you can have conversations with, and that those people, including yourself, also understand that some stuff is just too tall of a task for a conversation with your friends. Sometimes you need professional help. So
Yeah.
Shout out to therapy.
Yeah, therapy.
Yes.
Like go get that. You know what I'm saying? Go talk to a therapist, a counselor. If you have students at home, she is a school counselor. Don't be afraid to tell your kids if they can't talk to you, go talk to the school counselor. Go talk to somebody, because these kids are just toting around this baggage at such early ages. And of course, if we always talk about that baggage, you get that baggage on your back so long, it's gonna weigh you down. And these kids are graduating high school with adult baggage, and that's crazy.
Yeah. They are. Anxiety and all, depression, all kind of stuff that most people wouldn't even think. Even some of them go in on like drug addiction, alcoholism, and some of them are like 10 already. And sometimes it's a lot of like foster youth. Some foster youth are prostituted by their, parents by the time they're like 3 or 4. It's really, really sad. Like, that's why, like, I don't like judging people off the bat right when you meet them. You don't know people's story. You have no idea what they've been through. Like, some kids don't even know how to dream because they weren't given that opportunity to.
Wow.
All they know their environment. Like, this is what I'm going to be because mama said so, the neighbor said so. I'm supposed to be a prostitute to make them money. This is my life.
Yeah. That's sad.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I know that was heavy.
No. I mean, it's so true, though, because people don't think that deep. So it's good to mention something that goes beyond. We push a little past surface sometimes in our mind for the people that are thinking deep, but I bet you not too many people went that deep.
Yeah.
So that's
even
good.
Homeless people, they didn't dream of being like homeless. Like, that wasn't their dream when they were a kid. So, yeah.
Yeah, I very seriously highly doubt that anybody just looked at a cardboard box that they took a TV out of and said, one day I'm gonna live in this.
Right. I want to wake up cold, not knowing where food gonna be at the next, no one's nobody.
Right. Yeah. So but that's good. Like I said, it's a lot of stuff you're saying people need to hear, whether it's a hard truth or or something that they probably have already heard before, to be reiterated. These are things and conversations that we got to continue to have to just drive home, what I'm saying, these facts. Because I think for a lot of these kids, some of these conversations, and teenagers, some of these conversations are far and few, because the parents are afraid of the kids now. They don't want to talk to them. They want to be their friends. They're afraid to have the hard conversation with them. And it's some hard conversations that you got to have with teenagers. So parents of little kids, you ain't had teenagers yet. Wait till they get to the teenage stage because the conversations get very, very difficult.
They get real. And if you can't be real and honest and open, especially if you expect that in return, good luck.
They know the fluff. They do. They know when you're just talking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they'll
Yeah.
spot you out real quick. Like
They sure will. And then guess what they'll do? Stop coming to you.
Yeah. That's why it's good. Have the snacks in your office. Have
Mhm.
snacks at your home.
Yep.
They'll start talking.
And they sure will. I remember my son when he decided to just let me know when he lost his virginity. We just driving in the car and he just, yeah, so mom, and blah, blah, blah. And I was driving. I'm like, oh, we're having this conversation. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, he was da 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 da. And yeah, so no. It wasn't at home. No. Because I'm in my head like,
okay.
What? And I'm like, oh, okay,
Oh
son. And I was like, wait, did you use protection at least? Because I'm like, instead of being like, what? I'm like, first I'm like, did you? Okay, let me be gentle with this because he decided it was safe and he could speak. But I was in my head like, what in the world is happening?
That is so dope. He told you though.
Yeah. He was like, and he could always brag with his friends. I tell my mom know every day. Or they'll be like, oh, so old girl said da da da, and then they'll be like, oh, my bad. He's like, no, my mom already know. So
oh, I love that. Oh, girl, he gonna tell you everything.
Mm-hmm. He come in and lay on the bed and be like, Mom, so last night I was like, all right, let me get my popcorn and snacks.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a dope connection. I'm shout out to my mom, man. My mom was like that for me as a teenager. My dad worked a lot. So it was times where he wasn't there in the house. So mama was there, so I had to go talk to mama. And me being the only boy, the baby boy, I would talk to my mom about literally everything. And I know some stuff she'd be like, "Oh my God, why are you telling me this?" But I would tell her anyway, and I would talk to her. And I even told her recently I appreciate her being the sounding board for me because I appreciated being able to get that stuff out to be able to talk about it and not have to worry about my mom looking at me weird. Right, because I have this stuff going on and I'm trying to hide it, I'm trying to cover it up. Nah, I just tell her everything, and that way at least I freed myself.
Yeah, that's
because
important.
because she knew what her baby boy had going on. Yeah, she knew I was wilding. So hey, it just was what it was.
I'm telling you from her perspective, it's so much better to know.
Yep. All right. So even for me, as I'm just saying, like I had to learn the hard way with a lot of stuff, but you can outgrow people and still love them, but it doesn't mean you're supposed to stay. So with that, how do you handle outgrowing people, or how do you have conversations with your students about outgrowing people, or noticing things with their friends?
Oh my gosh. Friendships are funny, especially in high school. Man, they're funny in high school. I always tell them that your parents, I always let my caseload, my students know your parents are your best friends, or your guardians. Like I even do it to where like you guys can come talk to me and I love that you're doing this, but I want you to come in at one point and tell me that you went and you talked to your parent about this. And I'm big on that because I have nieces and nephews and they come and tell me stuff. And I'm like, this is great, but you gotta go tell your mom. Like, like your mom, your moms, they my older sisters, okay? So you gotta go. And I just want parents to trust me too. And even though their parents don't know I'm saying this to them, like to me, that's building their trust with their kid. But I let them know their parents are their best friends. Those are going to be the ones that have their best interests at heart, no matter what those are going to be your people, and you're going to leave out of high school with maybe 2 friends, maybe 2 good friends. And it's because I have kids that come in and say, oh, this person stopped talking to me, or this person spreaded a rumor, or this person sent this text around and it's a picture going around the school. It's like different things like that. I let them like know some people are in your life for a season, and it might have been an amazing one. You know, and some of them like, what do you mean by season? Like, you know, like, what is season? And I'm like, you know how we have fall, then we have winter and spring and all that. And they're like, yeah. And I said, all those seasons stop. And then I had one smart Alec. I just loved him. And he was like, well, they come back around. It's like,
I mean,
I
They
said, you know
do, but every season don't look the same either.
ooh, I'm gonna use that the next time. Thank you.
Because summer be hotter, sometimes it ain't. So, like it's not the same every time.
Thank
So
you. I'm gonna use that next time.
Go on, give it back to him real quick.
Yes, because
Now let's get back to what I was saying, young sir.
You smart. But I just let them know, like, some people really are in your life for a season, and it's okay to let them go, because you might be trying to hold on to something, and there's something so much better that you can't even get a hold of because you're holding this person or you're holding this thing, and you can't even access what's I can't say God in the office, but what God has in store for you. Like, I use different language, but yeah, I let them know that it's okay.
That's dope. That you redirect them back to their parents.
Yeah.
You try to let them know, like, to instill like that person is for you. They care about you. They love you. And because going through high school, especially just listening to some of my daughters, like you said, them friendships is funny.
Yeah, they do.
She stressed me out sometimes. I'd be like, oh, hold on. I don't want to know about school yet. Hold on. Give me a second. When I pick her up, I'll be like, let me prepare myself. Because she's like, Mom, let me tell you. And I'll be like, okay, hold on. Because y'all are drama.
You do. You got to definitely prepare. And then one time I had a, what is it? It was on my caseload. I had a girl and a boy who were dating each other. And I was like, man, this sucks, because they're coming in telling me 2 different things. And I'm like, boys are something else. They're so funny. But the girl's like, I'm so in love with him. And yeah, we're probably going to get married after high school, all this stuff.
Lord,
like, I'm over her. I'm ready to break up with her like tomorrow, you know? And I'm like, and I can't, because of confidentiality, I can't tell the girl, like, hey,
girl, go your way.
Hey, prepare yourself.
I could have. I'd be like, let me tell you, girl.
And she came to my office crying because he broke up with her like that week. And I had to, like, you know, pull her up and, what are you interested in? What do you like? Because her whole world was him, like, you know.
Yeah.
Her whole world. And she was a foster, like, youth. So she was being planted, like, everywhere. So that's where I have to be careful too, when I'm like, your parents are your best friends. Sometimes I have to pivot and be like, who's in your life that you know you could really trust? And sometimes they're just like, just you know. So yeah,
I'm sure that gets pretty heavy, just dealing with that and the different conversations and the ups and downs, and then if they're foster and hearing their backstories, and they, especially if someone like that, the only person they have is you. And like you said, they're being placed. Do they ever, like, placement changes sometimes, or whatever the case may be? So I know that could be a heavy job. So kudos to you for standing in for those kids.
Yeah, I love doing it. They're funny. I'm telling you. One told me, I'm already making $65,000 a year off YouTube. What do I need to be here for?
Oh yeah, no, kids hilarious. That's for sure.
Like,
they're real funny.
Like, wow, you're making 65,000, 17, huh? Okay.
Okay.
How are you gonna manage that? Like, you know, maybe you go to school, like, for business, get a business certificate,
right?
Do accounting, and all right, Miss Neely, I guess I can do something like that. I was like, yeah, you don't gotta go to 4 years. You don't gotta do 4 years. Just get a little certificate. You know, so you know what you're doing to manage that money.
Right.
Gotta tell them too, 65 ain't enough, Jack. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like
Look,
it's 65 is enough when you at home with your parents and you ain't
Parents,
paying,
right.
you know what I'm saying, mortgage and all these
yeah.
bills, but in car notes and stuff. But yeah, when you get out there on your own, 65 ain't enough.
Right.
65, you might as well go grab your box too with the homeless.
But at least you'll be able to get a double decker box. You'll be able to
Yeah,
get a
yeah.
double
You can have
decker
a nice
box.
box with a window, but you
Yeah.
ain't,
What a window.
especially in California. Yeah, you get your
Right,
box.
exactly.
You can get an
Right.
80, you can get an 82-inch TV box with that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kids are comedy.
Yeah. So I just want to ask too, with you being a school counselor, want to pivot to that part of the conversation. Like what 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 pushed you into that lane? Because I know we all have our purpose in life, right?
Yeah.
And our passion, and sometimes they align and sometimes they don't, right? So is that what you're passionate about? It do you feel like that's your purpose and that you're fulfilling your passion and your purpose at the same time?
Oh yeah. I love it. That's why I'm so happy I just got received this new position because it's literally like it's me. It comes so easily. I don't care what kid I'm around, what teenagers are around me. That's how I know it's a gift from God. It's like God working through me. Because people's kids just talk to me. It just I'm like, whoa, like some stuff I find out, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, that God like trusts me with his like kids, literally, like
Yeah.
children. That's a big thing. To be trusted with people's kids, and I don't take that lightly, like at all. Every kid that I come in contact with, I'm gonna act like you're my niece or my nephew. I'm gonna treat you just like I would them. And I think that's a gift that God has given me, because people be like, Areva, those are not your kids. Even my sisters be like, don't let them use you up like that, and I'm like, no, it's fine, it's okay, because I just feel like that I don't know, maybe a conversation I may have could change their whole perspective on something. Like, I don't know if a kid wanted to commit suicide, a kid not feeling like they weren't good enough, a kid, because I know for me, even getting this doctorate program, it's hilarious to me because, for one, I hate school. Like, I don't like it. This is it for me, y'all. This is it. I struggled in school. Like, I was like that C student. I was a social butterfly. Areva the Diva is what they called me. And so, and my brothers and sisters like did well in school. That's why I love helping kids that come to my office and tell me they can't do it. And I'm like, no, I am here. You can do this. Like, I had 2 D's on my transcript, y'all. Okay. And I got into 4 colleges. You can do this. And it was in geometry. I used to be like, geometry is not math. Those are shapes. They're like, or even get out of my classroom. But I love helping those type of kids because I know how that feels. Like, I know how that feels. But the passion comes from my family, my younger cousins. During the pandemic, I created this thing called Little Inspirations at my uncle's church, where people brought their kids. So I was with kids from like 7 a.m. until 5 because parents still had to work. So I was working with kinder through 6th grade, and I was teaching. But I was like, yeah, teaching's not for me. This is not it.
I feel you.
This was not it. And then I taught at this Christian school. I was teaching 2nd and 3rd grade. And this little girl, I'm like doing a problem on the board. And she raises her hand. I thought she was going to say the answer. I was like, oh, the answer, great. What's the answer? She said, Miss Neely, when I'm away from you, I miss you. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I had to like move on because there you're on like a schedule. So I couldn't really like pour into her the way I wanted to. And so I was like, there's got to be something else. And that's when I found school counseling. I was like, oh, I love helping kids figure out what they want to do and be like, get it together. Be nice to your mama and daddy. Don't do them like, So, yeah.
Okay. So I also wanted to get a little bit more into when you were, letting us know who you are at the beginning. You said you had 9 books. Can we talk about that for a second? Because
Yeah.
that's not something small. Like I could see if you said 1 or 2 books, because 1 or 2 books is even a great accomplishment to even have any books. But 9 books, talk to us about 9 books.
All I can say is by the grace of God. Like it's really crazy because my aunt gave me a prophecy. I had to be like, I want to say I was like 17 or 18, and she was like, Areva, God said you're gonna write books, and I was just like, girl, I don't even like to read. but all right.
You gonna keep telling God, and he said, "Yeah, I'm gonna show you."
Right. No, for real. And then I went to I went to my friend's service, and he was like, "Oh, you want to come to my service?" And I'm gonna play the drums there. And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And before I got there, God was telling me, "Hey, this man is gonna prophesy over you." And I said, "Oh no," because I don't like that when they're like saying your business. I'm like, please don't do that. I'm doing a lot right now, Lord. So I don't know what you're gonna say. And so I get there, and God's like, "Oh, he's gonna prophesy to you last," because I thought like the guy was done. I was like, "Oh, I wasn't really hearing God." And then at the end, he said, God told me to save you for last. And I go up there, and he said, "There's a book in you that you need to release. And this is not about you. This is to help young girls. And you have a nonprofit that's coming, and you're going to be speaking. You're going to be speaking a lot." And he said, "And you're going to go back to school." And my face went like this because I had just finished my undergrad. And he was like, "Yeah, you're going to go back to school. You're going to walk in obedience." And I was like, okay. So those are how my books came to play. You're Worth More, definitely I didn't want to release. And then I created Blossoming Nicely because everybody's like, "Oh my God, are you okay? How did you go? I'm so sorry you went through that." I was like, "God, we gotta write another book then. Like, give me another book name." Because
let's change the
narrative. People are pitying me, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
And so like Blossoming Nicely came out. And then Intentionally Seeking, because I started studying theology. That's when I moved to Houston for a year, and I studied theology because I wanted to know God for myself, because I was like, do I just believe in this because I grew up in it? My uncle's my pastor. Like, I just, got in it. This is just what I know. So I ended up studying theology, and Intentionally Seeking came from that. And then my 2 books, I'll Just Wait and I'll Just Wait Too. Those are like my favorite because they were my first fictional books. And it's like a Christian romance novel. So it's telling a woman's perspective. So I'll Just Wait, and then I'll Just Wait TOO for the guy's perspective. And so, yeah. And then I just released 3 children's books called Family Time Travelers. Because my younger cousins and nephews were like, "We need books so we can read them." Yeah, because you can't read mine yet. So,
yeah, like, hold on, do not pick the book up.
So yeah. So that's where those stem from.
Okay. So how long, when did the first book started? What year?
Oh, that was 2017.
So 17 up until your most recent, the 3 fictional, and those are recent. How recent?
Last year.
Okay.
Yeah, those were last year.
Yeah, he said you're gonna write because you writing.
I know. And at first I thought it was just journaling, because journaling helped me a lot, like writing my emotions out. And I love praying and all that. So, and just listening to the Holy Spirit. And I like to go back and look like, oh my gosh, I really heard his voice. Like, this wasn't just me writing. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's a huge accomplishment because, like I said, I was thinking about writing 1 book. I'm like, 9 books of anything. Like I love to read in my personal time, and sometimes I read a book, and I my guilty pleasure is quick reads generally. Something I can read within a day or 2, something like that, because I don't have a lot of time to just span of time, because I ain't gonna even lie to you. Sometimes it's like, squirrel, oh, there's something going on over here. and my attention span be and I
Yeah.
might not pick the book back up for a while. So if it's something I can't read within a couple of days, sometimes I get away from it. But reading is, a big part of our lives, right? Growing up, because whether you liked it or not, you had to do it.
Yeah.
See, these kids nowadays have a distinct advantage because a lot of things that go on, they have to read, but it's minimal reading, and they read so much on social media that they feel like they're reading more than they are. But at the same time, them understanding, having high reading comprehension is probably as low as right now for everybody,
Yeah.
because they read social media and they read these things that are not stimulating them the way that they should, so they're not getting the growth and the vocabulary and the experience that they need to hear and feel and be about. Because I can't lie to you, when we were kids and reading books, like those books took us on adventures. Like we were able to use our imaginations
Yeah.
and you
Boxcar
know
Children.
yeah, and just like imagine things and be somebody else for a little while, or go somewhere else for a little while, in our minds. So I think the reading part of life, still having books and things like that is necessary. So we appreciate your contribution to that. And you got 9 of them, people. She said 9.
Yeah.
So she got something for everybody. So when she
Facts.
gives her contact information, y'all need to reach out. Y'all need to get some of them books.
Yes. God is
And for the
funny too,
busy
because I
people,
struggled in reading too growing up. So that's part of the reason why I didn't like reading.
mm,
So God is so funny. Education and reading. Like, how dare you? So
well, and I'm sure so those people that don't like to read or want the quick reads, I'm pretty sure you can turn these into audios on your
yes.
phones, now devices. You could play them back, y'all. So you
Yes.
can still listen to the book.
Yes.
Yeah, on your way to work, you ain't got to twerk. You can listen to a book every now and again.
Literally, because I'm so busy, sometimes a lot of my reading is read to me while I'm driving. So, yes.
I feel you,
Or,
girl.
or sometimes Trisha Michelle rides in silence. She thought I forgot about that.
Oh, I do that too, though. I was doing that the other day, and my daughter was in the car, and I was like, I know she probably like,
What is happening? I
was
love
like,
it.
okay, but I think she got used to it now. But yeah, it's
That's
my
what-
thing too.
Relaxing.
Sometimes just
So hold on, you do that too?
I do.
shut the
Especially
kill the
after work.
noise.
Yeah, just for a moment.
Yeah.
Just for a moment.
See, so I guess I'm the weirdo because I gotta
Thank
have some
you.
music. I gotta
Yo,
have
you
some
just
music.
got all this chaos in your mouth.
They said all this chaos.
Hey,
Now we
when
judging you.
yes, because on the way to work, I do like to sell some drugs and things like that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
Vicariously through the music. So you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Before I go and deal with people at work, you know
Yeah,
what I'm
you
saying? I
pumping
like to
yourself up.
Said I was a
Yeah,
kind
I
of
like
boy,
to
dope boy about 2 blocks ago, but I'm clocking in now.
Hey.
facts.
I love it.
All
Rolling down
right.
the street.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So you got the books, you got,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, so much going on with the babies at school and your school counselor. Are there any other things that you're doing? I heard you mention the nonprofit and things of that nature. Can you talk to us a little bit about those projects that you're working on outside of the books and your school stuff?
Yeah, so Train Station Foundation started with my cousin and I, Cassidy Elizabeth Kidd now. We wanted to do a homeschool program because a lot of our like family, they don't want their kids in public school systems. So they're like, basically, y'all need to do something. So we're like, what we gonna do, girl? Like, what we gonna do? And she was like, Areva, we can do this. It can be based off of like Proverbs 22:6. I was like, oh my God, that's dope. Train Station Foundation. And then I was like, oh, we all disembark on different journeys. You know, some people may go this way, some people may go that way. I was like, girl, this is working. And so we just released the business this year in January. So right now we're just doing a lot of fundraising. We're doing gospel bingo. I don't know if you guys heard of hip hop bingo. So much fun.
Yeah.
I loved it. And so I told my cousin, and I was like, girl, what if we did a gospel bingo? So we're going to do a gospel bingo fundraiser where people have to come in their Sunday's best, that 2000s era, kind of like when millennials were growing up in the church. And I was like, girl, we know so many church folk. Let's invite them and let's fundraise. Let's do this. And so we're geared towards just like helping homeschool families. That's basically what we do. Because a lot of people think homeschool kids, they don't know how to socialize, which is a lie. They're actually more socialized than kids that are in public school, because their parents expose them to, like, if they're learning about math, they're going to take them to a bank. If they're learning about a different country, they're going to take them to that country. So they get exposed more than most public school kids would. And they get to do this every day. Like, they could do a field trip every day if they wanted to. Yeah. So taking the stigma off of what homeschool looks like.
Okay.
That's true. I never thought about it like that, but you definitely can learn a lot while at home.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, we talk about that, here and there, because I'm of the mindset of, in a lot of instances, real world application beats what you can learn in a book any day.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's certain stuff we learned in school, we read, and we don't utilize it at all.
Like that geometry.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So
put it be on my transcript.
Well, I mean, hey, the sidetrack, analytical geometry was my downfall. There was a class. If people like, what is analytical geometry? I started out college as an architect major, so I had to take this analytical geometry class, and it was by far the hardest class I think I've ever experienced. So yeah, your boy, I only made 1 C in college. All the rest of my grades were A's. I made all A's and 1 C. And that was the
excuse me.
Yeah, that was the C that I made in college, and I had the opportunity to retake the class. I was like, nah, I'm good on that.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta count your blessings.
Right.
Blessed with that C.
Hey,
I did it.
That C meant charges to the game, because that's what I did. I'm moving on.
C said, can he do it? Won't he do it? You do.
Yes.
Yeah, I ain't messing with that. So I kept it moving on that note. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff that I think a lot of people have misconceptions about simply because they don't know anything about it. And homeschooling is one of those things. So it's dope that y'all are doing that and that y'all are providing this service.
Yeah, we love it. It's work, but we love it.
Yep. Well, it's a labor of love. So there you go. Literally.
And telling parents they can teach their kids.
Yeah.
I think that's what they get intimidated about. Like, I'm going to teach them math. I'm going to teach them. Yeah, you are. You do it every day. When you're cooking, they could be in there measuring with you. Like, there's so many different things they can do, and it's hands-on to where it'll stick in their brains, and there's a whole homeschool community where there's like hybrid churches that do what is it called, homeschooling too as well. So your kid is only there half the day, and then sometimes the kids, they go off and they do like community service work, or they go intern somewhere, and it's like they get exposed to stuff early so they'll know what they want to do early, instead of just saying go to college and you didn't get to experience anything. You don't even know what you really want to do. So
that is very thought-provoking.
Right.
Homeschooling has their perks. It has a lot of perks.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. I'm learning too, because I'm
listening here like, wow, that's true.
Yeah, I've heard people talk about it before, but I didn't, take a deep dive into it to figure out, those nuances that you're talking about. So
and it's so much bigger now. They do proms. For the kids, they'll put on proms for them, and the proms will be better than the ones at the high school. So in the public school, I'll be like, okay, parents, come through.
Wow.
That's really nice.
All right. Well, we've learned so much about you and everything that you've got going on. So we're going to get ready to wrap it up. But before we wrap up, I got something special that I'm going to introduce for this episode 225. I call it rapid fire, right? Not rapid
Mhm.
fire with an R-E, rapid fire. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Fiyah for us. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mention two words, this or that. And you gotta give me one of them. Quick answers. No
Okay.
thought, just quick answers. So, all right, you ready?
I'm on the game show. I'm ready.
Yeah, don't
Mhm.
take too long. All right, here we
Okay.
go. All
All
right,
right.
first one up, peace or validation,
Peace.
love or respect,
Love.
comfort or growth,
Growth.
settling or being alone.
Being alone.
One word that defines your journey.
Oh my goodness. I don't know. Oh my goodness.
3 words, you're worth more.
You're worth more.
Okay, go ahead then.
See.
I'm like, I don't know.
See, you know what, Big King gonna give you some homework. So that's your homework assignment for for tonight to think about one word that defines your journey.
Yeah.
Because when you come back, and you will be back, because we're gonna ask you to come back, and we're gonna talk to you again, and you're gonna come on the show, and we're gonna have this dialogue and this relationship that we build with our guests. So
Yeah.
this will not be the last time you're here. So
Oh,
we're going to trust me. I got a good memory. I'm going to ask
Mhm.
again.
y'all are amazing.
I'm going to ask again. Yeah. So we've had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Um
You make it
and
easy.
yeah.
Oh, y'all make it easy.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, when we have guests on, we never know what we're going to expect. I've learned so much from this episode that I didn't even think I would learn, right? I didn't have any expectations. Like I said, your content is great, but having an actual conversation with somebody is totally different, because you never know where the conversation is going to go, right?
Right.
um and some of the things that you've told us or talked about, I'm like, wow, she really was transparent. She told us she was going to be open book, and
Yeah.
literally she has been an open book. Like, she's talked about everything. So we really appreciate that transparency and that willingness to share these things with us and our audience, because it means so much to us. Because, like I was telling you before the show, like, we really care about the people. We really care about our well, we don't call them guests, really, we call them five friends. We care about our friends that come on the show. We care about our audience, and we want everything to be authentic, right? We
Yeah.
want it to be fun. We want it to be carefree, but we want it to also be powerful and transparent at the same time. So I think we've done an amazing job with that today in this conversation. So I
Thank
want people to actually, what I'm saying, just take a moment to, go back through the episode, listen to it again, look at it again, take away some of these nuggets that she has provided you with today, because I promise you they will improve your life.
Oh, thank you guys. Y'all were amazing.
All right,
You're
so
welcome and thank you.
so I'm not gonna let you off the hook that easy yet, though.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
oh,
All
Mm-mm.
right,
okay.
all right. So I'm gonna ask you this before we go.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody's watching this right now,
Mm-hmm.
and they're in a situation where they're settling, or where they're scared to walk away, or they're just in their head thinking about stuff too much, what is something that you can leave them with, something encouraging that you can leave them with?
I'm gonna say you're worth more than you think. And I'm going to leave you with Ephesians 2:10, for we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. Meaning you were created by the creator of the universe. So if he created you, that means you got purpose to live. So know that, and don't settle for less in anything in your life. Nothing. That's including people. That's including relationships, family, your work environment. You're worth more than you think, but you have to believe that.
Okay. Yeah, Trish Michelle, like as Trish Michelle would say, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what y'all be doing, what that is. I guess oh my bad. That's was that clock that T?
Oh
Was
yeah,
that okay.
clock.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
You
gonna
know,
let y'all do that. Dudes don't be doing that. So, you know what I'm saying? Like swipe that from my records, fellas. I didn't do that. I just, you know what I'm saying?
you
Like,
was understanding it. That's all.
yeah, I'm just trying to get an understanding of it. All right. Like I said, we appreciate that, and this is one of those conversations that you don't hear, you actually feel it, right?
Yeah.
This was a deep conversation. We had a lot of fun, but there's parts where it got really deep, and it was supposed to, because it's serious things that we discussed, and we want you all to learn from it, and we want you all to take from her experiences, and venture into your own life so that your own life can be better, because it's people out in this world that have been through things in life that you don't necessarily want to go through, and you don't have to go through, because
Mhm.
they're telling you don't do it. They're telling you, look at what I did, so you don't have to go through it. So
Right,
you need to learn from the experience of others. So
man.
if you got something from this audience, make sure you send this, share this to other people,
Yeah.
because they got to understand, and you most importantly got to understand that you're worth more. There you
You
go. All right. So Trish Michelle, you got any other questions, anything you want to ask before we wrap it up?
So you're local. Is it Inland Empire completely that you assist with your nonprofit? Is it California, Southern
I
Cali?
do.
Does it
Yeah.
go?
I do all states, so I know
Okay,
all the A through G requirements for like all the states. And so, yeah, if you need me, I'm here. Social, emotional, I got your kid. I'll treat
perfect.
them like a niece or a nephew. I really, really will.
All
And I
right.
will
I know a
doing
few people. I've seen a
everything.
few people asking some things with homeschool and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I will definitely share your information since I'm out this way. But it's good to know also, it don't matter if you are or not out this way because she is all over. So
Yes. Yeah.
yes.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Okay. And we also need to let you shine in the moment and let the audience know how they can reach out to you, your social media presence, projects you got going on, or about your own podcast. Let them know all that stuff so they'll know where they can follow you at and what you got going on.
Got it. So You're Worth More podcast is on YouTube, and you'll find it under Areva Denise Neely. And Areva Denise would be my Instagram, and you'll find everything you need to find on there. My books and everything will be there. And my books are available on Amazon as well too.
Okay, okay. Yeah,
Perfect.
y'all make sure y'all go get that. And we have to do it as well.
Yeah.
And I gotta make sure that I get you a t-shirt, so we'll talk about that
I love
backstage. Yeah,
shirts.
so we can get some fire session out there, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But yeah, we definitely appreciate you coming through and blessing us with this knowledge and with this information and with your experiences, because listen, at the end of the day, some of the stuff you talked about, it's not easy to talk about. It's not easy for people to divulge their
Yeah.
information in front of a crowd. So we appreciate your vulnerable, state, and your willingness to discuss these things, because I guarantee you there's somebody else out there now who will be able to hear your story and be encouraged. So
Man,
For
thank
sure.
you guys. I appreciate you guys for allowing me on. Thank you.
no
Of course.
problem.
Yes.
Trisha Michelle, talk to the people before we get up out of here. What you got going on?
What do I have going on? Oh
Hmm.
man. So no, I haven't made no YouTube videos, guys. I'm busy. I'm doing some things with hair. I got a big person I'm making something for with their hair. I'm about to be at the Hollywood Beauty Awards as a person that is an invitee. I will be on the red carpet. I'm, going to go do a couple of things. So if you guys follow me and whatnot, just continue to follow. Continue to go to my YouTube, Trisha Michelle. So we will have videos coming back. I just got
Yeah.
to focus on this real quick because this is my first red carpet event, and I will be making sure that I look the part and enjoy and just take in all of it. So, but yes. And then I'll talk to everybody about it after.
Yes. Congratulations. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
Thank you.
congratulations. Yeah. Yeah, y'all. Big Ken didn't know that either. So this is authentic. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Cause I'm hearing it with y'all. I'm hearing it with y'all lives here. So that's dope, man. We are proud of you, and all the things that you got going on. And we're gonna keep supporting you and everything that you do. So
Thank
kudos
you.
to you and all your hard work coming through. Cause yeah, it's your time to shine, homie.
Thank you,
Yes,
thank you.
girl. Go be great.
Thank you. And see, I'm out here beautifying folks, but she's beautifying the mind. So I love
Yeah.
that you are
I need
out
you
there
to
for
beautify me, okay?
girl. Look, you're out here actually. So yes,
What's
don't even
up?
trip. I
Yeah,
That's
got
I
you.
might have,
awesome.
I might have to go on and get my man unit. You know what I'm talking
You
about?
know?
Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. Yeah, yeah. I want, I
I
want,
will
I
be
want,
following and sharing.
I want the waves though. I want the waves, Tristan. I want the waves.
Okay, we're gonna make you
You know
dip.
what I'm saying? Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. All right, y'all. We've had a lot of fun, got a lot of information out there, and had some great experiences today. So you already know you've been rocking with Trisha Michelle, Benji Banks, and Big Ken, the Fire Session. Thanks again to our special guest, Areva Denise Neely, for joining us today and bringing the fire. You know what I'm saying? She gave us so much today. So make sure you go and you follow her platforms, you reach out to her, you contact her, utilize the services. She's our new friend. So, welcome her into the family like you should, you know what I'm saying, with open arms and gratitude. So we appreciate you. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe on all platforms so you don't miss the next session and you don't miss any of her content as well. Until next time, stay lit. You already know it's the Fire Session. Peace.